Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of the Hail Mary. I appreciate you being here listening. Whether you're just woke up, you're in the shower, you are taking a poop, you're driving to work, or you're jorking your peanuts. Thank you so much for being here and listening to the Hail Mary. We have a jam-packed show for you, kind of. It was a fairly busy weekend for sports, and we have some topics that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about the Yankees and how Anthony Volpe is one of the worst baseball players of all time. We're going to talk the MLB betting scandal that is going on right now with the Cleveland Guardians and the MLB trade deadline. We are going to talk about Happy Gilmore 2 and how if you didn't like that movie, you are an absolute freaking weirdo. We're going to talk about Shannon Sharpe and the Hall of Fame and everything that's going on with that, him being fired by ESPN. And then we're also going to talk about NFL training camp. We have a full-packed show today. We also have our SICKO of the week, which it is one of the funniest stories I've ever heard. So let's jump right into it. Let's talk about the Yankees and how they are they're terrible right now. So yeah, they back in 2024, obviously we know that they were good. They made it to the World Series only to choke against the Dodgers, losing 4-1. And as of right now, they're collapsing. They're collapsing. Currently, as I wrote up my little script here, 3.5 games back on Toronto. This was a team that made it to the World Series last year, and they are putting together a monumental collapse. Yeah, they have a middling record despite scoring the third most runs in all of the MLB, and they lead the league with 167 home runs. But that is the problem is, they play on a little league field. So yes, they can hit home runs, but most of the other teams can also hit home runs. The problem right now as well is that Aaron Judge is hurt and they have to deal with Anthony Volpe being on their roster. And it's not even the fact right now that the Yankees have cold bats. They aren't hitting the ball when it matters. So they're mashing the ball with nobody on base. A lot of solo shots, but when there are runners on base, they're striking out and they're not capitalizing with these runners in scoring position. And again, that is not going to win you games. I understand that the Yankees built their whole mentality on mashing the ball, but sometimes in October, that is not going to win you games. And as of right now, it's being evident even in August. Where, well, holy shit, I can't believe it's August, but right now, even in August, when the weather is hot and the ball should be flying, it is not working out. So I have a feeling that this Yankee team is going to struggle mightily. If they make it, they're going to make it to the playoffs, but they are going to struggle mightily. I think they may lose in the first round. Honestly, you can't just hit solo shots. Now, they did make some moves. We will talk about that later in the show, but as of right now, I don't like where the Yankees are going. And, I mean, I kind of don't care. It's the biggest story right now in all of baseball. But, yeah, the Yankees suck. They're not hitting it well, when it needs to be hit. And one of the reasons for that is Anthony Volpe. Anthony Volpe this year is a strikeout machine. The guy, you could set up a piñata and this guy would swing and miss. The dude is horrible. What is he at right now? Right now, so last year, he batted .243 with 153 strikeouts. This year, he is batting .217 with only 16 home runs playing at Yankee Stadium, and he has 102 strikeouts in 107 games. He is on pace to break his own strikeout record that he had last year with 156. You put that into perspective, the league average, batting average right now in the MLB is .245. He is .217, and he is actually getting worse. And he's actually a super liability in the field. I saw a meme, and I don't know if it's true, but I'm gonna take it like it's true. We're gonna pretend like it's true. He has a worse batting average and more errors than whoever that one-armed baseball player was back in the day. So I don't know if that meme is true. I hope it's true because that's funny as shit. But Anthony Volpe, I have a feeling the Yankees would be better if they just got rid of him, just didn't play him, because the man is a strikeout machine. You pretty much put him up there, and you know he's going to strike out 2 times a game. You're going to have runners in scoring position when he's up to bat, and he's not going to help you out. And he's not hitting the ball well. 217 is not good. He's not hitting home runs, only 16 while playing at Yankee Stadium. That is a little league field. They got to do something about Anthony Volpe. Now, again, I understand there are other factors into why the Yankees are struggling, but when you have a guy who's hitting 217 and he's on pace to break his own strikeout record of 156, you probably got to get him the hell out of there. I don't think that the Yankees are going to move away from Aaron Boone. There are a lot of people who are saying to fire Aaron Boone. I don't think that's really going to help right now. Again, they have injuries. They have Anthony Volpe. It's kind of like, think about it like this. It's like whenever the Kansas City Chiefs had Kadarius Toney, and Kadarius Toney couldn't catch a ball to save his life. Sometimes just one player is going to ruin your season. And right now that seems to be Anthony Volpe. So I don't think firing Aaron Boone is the end-all be-all to fix what the Yankees are going through. I don't think it'll help them at all, actually. I think that Aaron Boone will get a job immediately, and Yankee fans will be yelling that they want Aaron Boone back. But again, it's just such an easy thing for fans to look at whenever their team isn't doing well. It's like, well, just fire the manager and we'll get someone else in there in the clubhouse. Sometimes the grass isn't always greener, so I think Yankee fans right now are panicking for good reason. They just made it to the World Series last year, and now they're on a terrible slump. 3 games out. The Blue Jays are possibly the best team in baseball right now, so I get it, but I don't think firing Aaron Boone is going to fix your problems. And yeah, the Yankees have been kind of a mixed bag this year. You know, once Aaron Judge is fully healthy again, and maybe once you get Anthony Volpe out of the lineup, you'll be okay. But that is one of the biggest stories going on right now because everybody has to talk about the Yankees. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. So, Yankee fans, you guys will make the playoffs. Don't worry. I don't know what the playoffs are like. So just be happy about that. I would love if my team was in a position like the Yankees. I would. I'm a fucking Pittsburgh Pirate fan. You know how sad I am all the time? We just traded away everybody on our team, and I'm not even going to get into that yet. We'll talk about that later. But Yankee fans, you guys will make the playoffs. I don't think you're going to get very far, though, because if you're not mashing the ball like you should be, you're hitting solo shots, you're not hitting with runners in scoring position, you're striking out a lot, do not expect a World Series again this year. Do not expect making it to the World Series again this year. I can see the Yankees getting bounced in the first round, especially if they're like a wild card team. I think I could see them getting bounced in the first round this year. So, yes, that is that. Let's move on. Let's talk about this MLB betting scandal that's going on with the Cleveland Guardians. I think that there's a whole conspiracy about it. I made a video about it. A lot of people are calling me stupid. I know I'm stupid. There's still a conspiracy behind it. And then we'll also talk about how it affected the trade deadline as well. And then we'll talk about the trade deadline. So, yeah, this MLB betting scandal. This isn't the first time that this has happened in the MLB, and I don't think the MLB is really taking it seriously when they seem to be, them and the NBA right now are kind of hand in hand. Most of the MLB, when it comes to people in their league betting, I mean, we had umpire Pat Holberg. He is on a permanent vacation after he was sharing sports betting accounts with a professional poker player who was betting on baseball. He was deleting his messages. Then you had the whole thing with Ippei Mizuhara, Shohei Ohtani's interpreter, where he ended up stealing a bunch of money from him and then was betting, and that was a whole thing. Now, the new betting scandal is the Cleveland Guardians, where first we had Luis Ortiz, a independent betting auditor, was looking into this. They saw that he was potentially, allegedly, betting on himself for the first pitch of an inning being either a hit batter or a ball, and the pitches that he were throwing were just not even close to the zone. So that's what they got tipped off about. And through some investigation, we can see now that the MLB was also investigating all-star closer Emmanuel Clase for the same thing. This happened on July 28th, and he has been placed on administrative leave through August 31st. So right now, one of the best closers who was potentially a trade piece was just off the market. And where I think that there was a conspiracy to this, they already knew about Luis Ortiz. I feel they had a little bit extra because, listen, they're teammates. You were looking into everybody on the team. I feel that they had dirt on Clase. And I know that you have to do your investigation. But the timing of this, the Guardians were looking to make a move to trade him. They were able to probably get a haul. They could have fleeced whatever team they wanted. The Yankees, anybody who needed a top-tier closer, because the Yankees, again, just traded for David Bednar. They could have got Emmanuel Clase, and they probably could have had to give up a haul. The Guardians could have made out like gangbusters for Emmanuel Clase, and then 3 days before the trade deadline, boom, he's off the market. I feel, listen, people were calling me stupid for this. I feel the MLB was sitting on this information because somebody in that front office does not want Cleveland to be good. They do not want Cleveland to rebuild. They sat on this information until there was some sort of negotiations or deal in place for Emmanuel Clase. Boom. They pulled the trigger, said, no, he's gone. So the Cleveland Guardians are now going to get nothing for him because if he is found guilty of all this, he's out of the league forever. It happened with Tucupita Marcano, I believe. Pete Rose just recently got reinstated, and then he died. Luis Ortiz was probably going to be gone. The MLB doesn't play with this. No league does. If you are betting on your respective sport, you are gone forever. Forever. And it seems as though Emmanuel Clase may possibly be gone forever. So the Cleveland Guardians, who had this all-star, just one of the most disgusting sliders in all of baseball, they were going to be able to get a haul for him, are going to get absolutely nothing because of this. And the timing of it, again, I think it's either idiotic or it's evil by the MLB. And I feel bad for Cleveland. They could have changed their franchise for decades, honestly. You could have gotten a top-tier prospect, or a few of them, for Emmanuel Clase, and now you are going to have nothing. You will have nothing, and you will like it. That is what the MLB has told them. And this leads right into the MLB trade deadline. And we saw some pretty big moves. Also, if you hear my dog freaking out, there's probably a big truck outside, and he hates that. But this trade deadline was kind of crazy. One of the biggest stories was the Padres. The Padres made a move for closer Mason Miller, and they got starter JP Shears. And Mason Miller was a guy that I saw videos about this on TikTok. So if I'm stealing your tagline, I'm sorry about this. I don't mean to. It's just in my brain. Mason Miller was a guy that you kind of wanted to take with you to Las Vegas because the Oakland A's are going to make that move to Las Vegas. However, Leo DeVries, the number 3 prospect who the Athletics got for Mason Miller and JP Sears, if he hits his ceiling at the time that they make it to Las Vegas, they are going to be awesome. That is a great player to start building around. Number 3 ranked prospect in all of baseball. The Padres are seriously going all in, and the A's are building for the future. My team, the Pittsburgh Pirates, really needs to, take notes about this. But we also had all-star first baseman Ryan O'Hearn. he went to the Padres. Ramon Laureano went there. Nestor Cortez went there. It was a big deal for the Padres. They're really going for it right now. And yeah, they're out of prospects, and they better win now because their future may be cooked if they don't do something big. Getting rid of the number 3 ranked prospect, that is a huge deal. Another huge deal that we had was Carlos Correa going back to Houston, which the Twins are covering $30 million of his remaining contract. And yeah, the sign-stealing champs are looking to recoup some old magic from when they won their last championship. A lot of people were very mad when Carlos Correa left, but he ended up waiving his no-trade clause to go back to Houston. Just a big deal. A guy that everybody loved in Houston is going back. And yeah, so that was a big deal. Not much really to say about that. I expect him to do well in Houston. He knows everybody there. He's going to fit right back in. Really not much else to say. We had the Yankees who overhauled their bullpen. I don't really think that's really going to help them too much with the hitting, like we talked about, where they're hitting very poorly with runners in scoring position. But they did get closer David Bednar from the Pirates. Fucking hate the Pittsburgh Pirates. They got Camilo Doval. They got Jake Bird. So they are bolstering their bullpen. So if they could get their hitting together, the Yankees, if they could figure it out in October, they have a solid bullpen that can win them games in the playoffs. It's just they really got to figure out their hitting. The Mets also made big moves. Both Yankee teams were making big moves. Ryan Hensley from the Cardinals is going over there. Tyler Rogers, is going to the Mets. And they also got center fielder Cedric Mullins as well. So now they have a stacked bullpen, and they got some much needed defense and speed. So the Mets are looking to make a run as well. And I think another team that went for it, full on for it, was the Mariners. They got 2 big bats. They got Eugenio Suarez and they got Josh Naylor. They got guys who can crush the ball. So the Mariners right now, I believe that they are second in their division. 2 big bats that the Yankees wish they had can push them to another level. They are hoping. I like these moves for the Mariners. I like this Mariners team right now. You got a slugging first baseman. You got a super slugging third baseman. They are going to be able to mash the ball. That is awesome. The Phillies, they made some big moves as well. They traded for Duran. They traded for Harrison Bader. The Twins just absolutely blew it up if you're keeping count of everybody who got traded. But the Phillies made some moves. Yeah, and then there were some players who we thought were going to get traded but did not make the move. Joe Ryan, we thought the Twins were going to make the move from. They didn't move him. Luis Robert Jr. didn't make it. Sandy Alcantara, I thought that he was going to be on the move for sure. He didn't. Stephen Kwan didn't move. Dylan Cease didn't move, but it seems like the Padres are going all in. And then the one guy on the Pirates that I thought they should have traded, they did not trade, Mitch Keller. He's still on the team. And let me get into a little rant right now about the Pittsburgh Pirates. So, why in the hell is Ben Cherington still the GM of this team? A lot of this is Bob Nutting's fault. Most of this is Bob Nutting's fault. A small majority of this is the fault of Ben Cherington. He has completely not done his job properly. The dude is kind of stupid. Why, if this rebuild isn't working, why is he still around to trade these guys away? The Pirates should have gotten rid of him before the trade deadline, brought in a new guy to start working from scratch. Obviously, let the new guy start building out this team with prospects. But instead, I have a feeling they're going to let Ben Cherington make all these moves. They're going to fire him. And then the new guy's going to come in and be like, I didn't want any of these players. The Pittsburgh Pirates are downright miserable. And we go through this cycle every year as Pirate fans. And I know that there's probably only one other person who's listening to this who's a Pirate fan. Everyone else is like, fuck the Pirates. I agree with you, but I'm stuck with them. Finally, we have some people in the media, like DK Sports. Usually he's a glazer for the Pirates. We got guys from like 93.7 The Fan. They always hate the Pirates. Mark Madden always hates the Pirates. But finally, we have people that are like, oh my God, I'm officially done with this team. Do I believe them fully? No. But at least they're making it public. I cannot stand this fucking team. I cannot believe that Ben Cherington is still the GM. I cannot believe that Bob Nutting still owns this damn team. How can you have... He's had 3 sold-out crowds this year. Opening day, Paul Skeens bobblehead day, and Mac Miller bobblehead day. All 3 times that there has been a sold-out crowd, there has been a sell the team chant. How can you honestly look at that as the owner and think that you're doing a good job? Because I know that the only thing that he cares about is his checkbook, which he has a lot of money. I don't know how you can stand people hating you that much. Like, I get you have all the money that you could ever want right now, but at some point it has to get under your skin that you are doing such a bad job that every single person, I haven't talked to one single person who thinks that he's doing a good job at running the team. There isn't there are some people out there for like other owners that are like, well, you know, they're doing the best. There is not one single person in the city of Pittsburgh and the surrounding areas who actually likes him and thinks that he is actually doing a good job, probably aside from his friends, because he's just giving them whatever they want because he's a billionaire. There is not one single Pirate fan who thinks that he's doing a good job. Not one. I don't know how he does it. The guy has the mental fortitude of Fort Knox. Nothing gets into his brain that is negative. It is crazy to me that he still owns the team after his only 3 biggest games that people have shown up to. There has been a sell the team chant. It has been that bad. Yinzer Palooza, where they were supposed to wipe the floor with the White Sox, the Pirates got swept. And I can't believe that he looks at that and he's happy. The reason why he's happy is because he's buying 50-cent bobbleheads, giving them away for free while selling $50 tickets and then making thousands upon hundreds of thousands of dollars on beer and food sales for a 3-game series. That is why he's happy. I can't believe it. It is... Let's move on to the next subject. I'm getting mad right now. All right, our next talking point. Happy Gilmore 2 came out. And this is going to be a quick one, but anybody who didn't like that movie, I'm going to be real with you. You're an idiot. You really are. You get so many people that are like, I don't like when people say, what do you expect about the movie? Because, listen, what did you expect? It is an Adam Sandler movie. The movie had, listen, I get if you didn't like all the cameos. I get if you didn't like some of the flashbacks. It was a good movie. It had a good premise. It made fun of actual golf because of the PGA and Live thing. So I have a feeling that the people who didn't like it, first of all, were you expecting Uncut Gems? Were you expecting the Shawshank Redemption? What were you expecting? My dog is freaking out right now. But seriously, what were you expecting? It was a good movie, all things considered. I had a lot of fun with it. The storyline was fun. The cameos, most of them were very fun. Bad Bunny was awesome. Travis Kelce was a dickhead in it, and I love that. Post Malone had like 3 seconds of time. MJF was so fucking funny in that movie. There were so many people who were openly upset about that movie. And it's like, why? It's an Adam Sandler movie. I saw people tweeting like, oh, the whole maxi golf thing and the thing where they cut your hips so you can get better torque. I don't like that because it's not realistic. So you want all of your Adam Sandler movies to be realistic? So 51st Dates. What movie am I thinking of? 8 Crazy Nights. That's not a realistic movie. Have you ever seen Grown Ups 2? Did you see the part where Shaq picks up a guy and throws him over a house? Yeah, you see that all the fucking time in real life. I get that there was some there really wasn't much realism to Happy Gilmore. First of all, nobody is driving a ball like that unless they are. I mean, you can get somebody who can possibly do that, but consistently, and they're a top golfer in the world. I just think that the people who didn't like Happy Gilmore 2 want to be mad because they like being mad, and you're an idiot. You're frankly an idiot. Because again, what did you expect? What did you expect? It's a Happy Gilmore movie. It's an Adam Sandler movie. It was a good movie. You're being mad to just be mad. It was a good conclusion to the series. I hope that they do even more. Not Happy Gilmore, but like Waterboy 2? Would love it. Big Daddy 2? Would be awesome. Billy Madison 2? Yes. The only thing that I would be mad about, I guess I wouldn't be mad, but if they did something like this for The Longest Yard. The Longest Yard was ridiculous in its own way, I will say that, but it was still like, that was already a remake. So I feel if they went ridiculous with that, then I'd be like, okay, this is getting a little bit weird. But if you are one of those people who are complaining about Happy Gilmore 2, grow up. That's all I gotta say. Grow up. Grown Ups 2 is what I gotta say. Hey, before we move on to our next 2 stories, I want to give a big shout out to Underdog Fantasy, and you can use my code HMM. When you sign up, you can get up to $1,000 in a deposit match, plus a free 0.5 pick, which is basically a gimme pick. It is like, when we get to NFL season, it's like, oh, Jared Goff needs to throw for 0.5 passing yards. So 1 passing yard. Sorry, I got the hiccups. And it cashes. It is seriously that easy. You can win up to $999 extra money, which is 1 entry. And again, when you sign up using my code HMM, you're going to get up to $1,000 in a deposit match, plus a free 0.5 pick. It is seriously that simple. Sign up for Underdog. It's my favorite thing to use during football season. I love Underdog so much. Like, I genuinely love it. Like, if you follow me on TikTok or anywhere else, you will see my entries because I love the app that much. It is so much fun. Check it out. Code HMM, free 0.5 pick, up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Let's move on to our next topic. We are talking about Shannon Sharpe and his brother being inducted into the Hall of Fame. So Shannon Sharpe will not be returning to ESPN when he has been fired after his whole sexual assault, misconduct. We know the story that went on with that. I won't get into too much graphic detail, but Shannon Sharpe confirmed on his podcast, The Nightcap, that he is being fired from ESPN. He said he knew earlier in the week, but he asked if they could hold on to this information until after his brother, Sterling Sharpe, who got inducted into the Hall of Fame, he asked if this information could be held until after that because he didn't want this information to take over and to overshadow his honestly, possibly the biggest thing that has ever happened in his brother's life. He's being enshrined in the Hall of Fame, and ESPN said no. They still let out this information, and watching the Hall of Fame stuff yesterday, during the Hall of Fame game, I was worried they were going to ask him about that. Now, Sterling Sharpe talked very highly about his brother, which is what a good brother should do. He did exactly what he should do. There were no questions about Shannon's whole situation as well, so that is good. But the fact that ESPN couldn't even show common decency to wait even a day after, even wait on the day of the Hall of Fame, this is why ESPN sucks. You had John Skipper for the longest time. The dude was doing blow, allegedly, off of hookers' asses. Allegedly. I don't want to get sued, but that's the whole thing. The dude was a little bit of a, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that they did this to Shannon Sharpe after his brother got, it was announced that he was going into the Hall of Fame, pretty disgusting. Now, this also, again, it comes off the heels of his settlement of his sexual assault lawsuit filed by an ex-girlfriend, which sought after $50 million. Now, again, just because you settle a lawsuit does not mean you did it. It does not mean you did it at all. So the fact that they couldn't even wait is appalling to me. And now we're hearing rumors that they might want to bring on Ocho Cinco because they still want to have that Shannon Sharpe audience. How disgusting is ESPN? You get rid of Shannon Sharpe where it's not even proven he did anything wrong. All he did was settle the lawsuit. Just because you settle does not mean you did it. That's where a lot of people get things wrong. Sometimes you settle a lawsuit because it's like, hey, there's not enough evidence to prove you're guilty and or innocent. So in the court of public opinion, you're screwed. So just settle it. And that's kind of what he did. Because right now there isn't really any evidence that he did any misconduct. So the fact that ESPN couldn't wait even 4 days to do this is horrible for not even Shannon Sharpe, for Sterling Sharpe. ESPN sucks, dude. I'm happy that Sterling Sharpe finally got his moment, getting inducted into Canton, which is great. I hate ESPN. I really freaking do. And again, this whole thing where they might bring on Ocho Cinco because they still want that nightcap audience. Go fuck yourself, ESPN. Like, how? If I was Ocho Cinco, again, I'm not going to tell him what to do. And Shannon's probably like, hey, man, go do it. You're going to make good money. But if I was in that situation and the way that they treated Shannon Sharpe, I would tell ESPN to go fuck themselves. Because that is disgusting. That is a horrible way to treat somebody when it wasn't even proven. Now, if there's more evidence out there that ESPN knows and it's not being, then sure, whatever. But right now on the surface, the fact that they had to take away from Sterling Sharpe's moment to punish Shannon Sharpe, and I know that ESPN was rubbing their palms, hoping that the analysts and reporters would ask Sterling Sharpe questions about it because they love that shit. ESPN's a fucking fraud. Stupid. So, congratulations to Sterling Sharpe, though. I wish he didn't get injured. The dude was an absolute beast. He even said that he's the second best player in his own family. Or that's what Shannon said. Sorry, that's what Shannon said. Shannon said that he's the second best player in his own family. Possibly. They both were fucking incredible, though, at football. They both were absolutely incredible, and I'm very happy that Sterling Sharpe is getting his moment in the Hall of Fame. I just wish that ESPN didn't try to overshadow it. Because if that was on ESPN yesterday, the whole Hall of Fame game, if I was Sterling Sharpe, I wouldn't even got on camera because they would have just, they'd have been throwing him questions about his brother left and right. Probably nothing about his playing career. Just everything about, well, what about Shannon? What do you think about this whole Shannon situation? Isn't it crazy that we fired your brother? ESPN sucks. Let's move on. Talk about some more things that are going on in football, and that is NFL training camp. Some big news going on with NFL training camp. Rob Jones for the Cowboys broke his neck. That isn't very good. So that is a massive blow to the Cowboys offensive line because Zach Martin retired. So now rookie, rookie first rounder Tyler Booker, who was supposed to be eased into this starting job, he's getting thrown right into it. So good luck to you, man. You have high expectations there, Tyler Booker. So, yeah. The Dolphins lose another piece of their secondary in Cater Conhu. I think I'm saying that right. I'm sorry if I'm not, but he was supposed to be their top nickel corner. He looks to be out for the season, and their secondary, thank goodness they got Minkah Fitzpatrick, but yeah, their secondary right now it's bad. It is bad. And apparently right now, they are saying that after some early struggles in camp for Caleb Williams, he looks to be shining. They say he looks to be dialed in, and he's making connections with DJ Moore and Luther Burden. And I like what Ben Johnson may be doing with Caleb Williams. Chicago fans, listen, I guess I can't really say that I think Chicago is going to be anywhere close to winning that division because that is such a loaded division. But I think Chicago can make a splash. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't. They really revamped their team, but I think it's going to take a little bit for this Ben Johnson system to fully develop itself. So I think they may struggle a little bit in the beginning of the year. But I like where Chicago's heading. I don't think they'll make the playoffs this year, but I think they're going to be that one team in the NFC that nobody's going to want to play because they're towards the end of the year, things will start clicking, and they could be a spoiler type team. They could possibly sneak their way into a wild card. It all depends, to me, on Minnesota. And the biggest piece for that is J.J. McCarthy. How will J.J. McCarthy play? I think that's going to determine where the Bears land in that division. I could see them ending up either third or fourth, the Bears, and I think it's going to go hand in hand with Minnesota because I think it's going to be the Lions, Green Bay, and then either Chicago, Minnesota, flip-flop those two for 3 and 4. And then the biggest news of the week that we saw yesterday, Terry McLaurin, two-time Pro Bowler, has officially requested a trade out. He wants to make up to $30 million per year. Terry McLaurin is expected to go to a team right now. We're seeing either the Steelers, we're seeing he may stay with the Commanders, they may find a way, or the Patriots. I think the Patriots could be a good fit. You get Drake May, a guy like that, plus they have Stephon Diggs. That would be fun. I don't know if the Steelers can make it work to trade for him, considering he wants $30 million per year, and they already have that kind of money locked up in DK Metcalf. They would be paying buku bucks to get for their big three, which would be Terry McLaurin, DK Metcalf, and TJ Watt. But you got to think about it. This is the only year that we're going to have Aaron Rodgers. He said that this is like a one-and-done thing. The Steelers will be possibly playing with a rookie quarterback next year and or Will Howard, who will be a rookie second year, but he's not really going to play much this year. So they're going to have a cheap quarterback on the books. You kind of can splurge at other positions. I don't know what the Steelers would have to give up. I mean, the Steelers have 18 tight ends on their roster, Darnell Washington and Pat Freiermuth, and they just traded for Johnny Smith. I would give up somebody like Pat Freiermuth. I talked about this yesterday with my buddies. Pat Freiermuth is a guy that I think is expendable. And then you have like 12 picks in the draft. I straight up would possibly even give them a first-round pick. Just straight up. First-round pick. Because having a guy like Terry McLaurin with Aaron Rodgers, with DK Metcalf, could win you a Super Bowl. Because the Steelers, by far and away, may have the best defense in the NFL. You bring in Terry McLaurin, you have DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, and then figure it out. You have Robert Woods, you have Calvin Austin, Roman Wilson's coming back. I don't know. That seems pretty good to me. The offensive line is getting better. Jaylen Warren, Caleb Johnson is a boomer type running back. I kind of like that. I would like Terry McLaurin to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, and that is my biased take on that. But if I honestly could see him going anywhere, I do think the Patriots make a lot of sense for Terry McLaurin. All right, we're moving on to our sicko of the week, and I got to look this up real fast because I completely forget his name, but I want to give him the credit that he deserves because this was one of the funniest stories that I possibly have ever read. It was a guy on Twitter, and once I get his name, I will fully talk about it, where he put out a tweet saying that he was going out to dinner with his wife, and he said for every like that he got, he would do 1 milligram of an edible. Now, he ended up getting like 80,000 likes on that tweet. What is this guy's name? I cannot find it. But he plausibly could not put 8 grams of marijuana in his body. But he said that he did end up doing a 30 milligram edible, 300 milligram edible. I just got to find this guy's name real fast. Let me find this because it was one of the funniest stories I think I have ever heard. So let me look for this real fast and I'll get right back to you. Okay, I found it. His name is Lord of Leisure. So the Lord of Leisure, Leisure God 69 on X. Please go follow them. Is our sicko of the week. So I will basically summarize what happened. So this guy basically said for every like that he got on a tweet, he would take 1 milligram of an edible. Now, he got 80,000 likes on that tweet, and he said, yeah, there's no way I can ingest 8 grams of anything. So he ended up taking a 300 milligram chocolate bar before he went out to eat with his wife and their coworker. And I don't even want to give up the story. I want you guys to go find it. I couldn't stop laughing. So our sicko of the week this week is Lord of Leisure, Leisure God 69 on X. Go check out this whole tweet thread. You'll find it. But he took 300 milligrams of a chocolate THC bar before going out to eat with his wife and her coworker for which was, he says, her manager at her company. So, yeah, it's one of the funniest things that you will ever read. The guy, here's something that I will say. He said that he was so high that his booty hole was tingling and he was slumped in his chair at the table like Stephen Hawking the entire time. It is very, very funny. Please go check it out. Leisure God 69 over on X. You are our sicko of the week. So fucking funny. All right, we have no questions this week from the Discord. So if you guys want to ask any sort of questions, be involved with the podcast. You do get your name read on the podcast. Woo, that's a big deal to you. But yes, if you join my Discord server, usually the day before I say like, oh, who wants to ask a question for the podcast? You could do that. So join the Discord server. Link will be in the bio if you are watching on YouTube right now. Excuse me. Be sure to follow us everywhere. We are on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. We are everywhere. Thank you guys for hanging out for another episode of the Hail Mary. We will be back on Monday. Everyone loves Monday. We are going to talk about everything that went on through the weekend in the world of sports. Hopefully, we get some crazy news. But, yeah. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Follow us everywhere. Join the Discord server. And, hey, never stop partying. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Peace out.